So sorry for the internet break. So we are continuing. We have finished talking about checkbox. We are going to drop down list. Sometimes you are being presented with a list for somebody to choose. So let's say we want to ask the person to select their program of choice. Their program of choice. Yeah, their program of choice. Right. So let's see how that is done. We need to use, to do that, you need to use what we call the select tag. The select tag um, is the main tag you use to display the drop down. And for every option that you want to display, you wrap it in an option tag. Very simple. So let's see how it goes. So here we have a paragraph, ask a question. We say select select your choice of program. Select your choice of program, right? Now, to display the drop down, we need to start with a what? A select tag like this. Okay. And now when we have the select tag, inside the select tag for every option we want to show, maybe we want to display MBA, Management Information Systems, MBA, Procurement and Supply Chain, MBA, Finance, MBA Accounting. For every option, we need to wrap it in an option tag like this. So then we write MBA MIS. MBA Procurement. MBA Accounting. MBA Human Resource. Human Resource. So now let's save and we see how this works. With your choice of program, good. I don't want the button to be just close to, so I'm going to use a break tag here between my question and then the last input tag here, so that the button will always be on the next line. Okay, so you can see, select your choice of program, and then once I click, you can see all my options showing in the drop down. So usually it is good to put a default option here that doesn't depict any selection. Maybe select your choice. So that by default, a choice is not selected, but the user will now have to click and select a choice of their own. Are we together? Is that clear? Okay. If there's no question around this, you can look at other. So we have multiple selection. However, we will skip that one. Multiple selection, basically to be able to select one or two choices. Usually it's not advisable to use that option because it's not mobile friendly. Usually works well on PCs. So let's look at file. Sometimes you are asked to upload your file. They say upload your passport picture. Passport picture. and then you see an option for you to upload. How is it done? You just basically use an input tag, but the type is what? File. You'll be fine. So let's see how that is being used. So our question will be upload a passport picture. Right. Upload a passport. Upload a passport picture. And now we bring in our input tag of type file. And the name can be passport pic. Then we there you go. So you can see now, upload the passport picture. You have a small button that says choose file. And it takes you to your PC's window where you can what? Select a file. So by now, connect. The next time you are filling a form, you know what input type was used at what point. Uh, so, all right, so now the final thing to do for a form is to what? Submit it. So in order to do put that would handle submission of the form, you just need to use the input tag, but you make the type of the input tag to be what? Submit. Right? The type should be what? Submit. So we have our input here. The type here is not supposed to be button, but what? Submit. And you can put your values and what have you. So, so finally, once you click on submit, um, all the information that have been entered in this form, there's a way you can process it and then store it in a database or do anything that you like with it. However, we are not looking at that in this particular session. This session, we are just looking at how the form is created, not the submission. So I think in terms of forms in HTML class, this is where we will stop. When we get to the JavaScript, we will look at how to collect the form information and do one or two things. But this is where we stop. We have handled almost all the input types that forms can have. Almost every form that you would come across today would have one or two of these things we have talked about. We all are aware. You will see text fields, you will see text area fields, you will see radio fields, you will see um, checkbox fields, you will see drop-down fields, upload fields, and what have you. So as web development students, from now onwards, if you are filling the form, based on the appearance of the question in the form, you know that, oh, here they use this kind of input. At least that is a plus for you. All right, so there are other things like image button, using an image for a button, but those are not relevant for our class. We're skipping them. We also have form validation. So let me just talk about some little things, whereby you make certain fields required. Have you tried filling a form and it's not allowing you to submit because it tells you that a certain part is required? expired. I'm submitting, but to tell you that I cannot submit. Yeah. So how do you do that? For example, input type email. If I want to make sure that the user cannot submit this form unless they enter an input email, I'll just come here and put an attribute called required. Required. So let me see. Right, we have by default when you just put required, it becomes true. So you can leave it like this, required, or you can type in required here like this. Okay, so let's go and test it. Refresh. Okay, so I'm just submitting the form, but it's not even submitting. You can see a pop-up error here that tells me, please fill out this field. See, have you seen it? That's the field for the email. Please fill it out. So that is the essence of required. You can do this for every field, all the fields we have here. So it's called validation. That's one of the validation methods. You have created a form. You want to make sure that everybody has filled the form properly without skipping certain things. You just need to come and add required to the end of it. Required, the end of it. So please let's take note. That's one of the validation concepts. Make a field required. And once you make it required, no user can submit the field without entering a value. Okay. There are still few things about forms we haven't touched, but as I said, we are not going to cover everything, otherwise we'll not finish the course. We are just going to cover the important aspects so that we can move on. But the book is there for you to read. You can read it ahead of the class, and then you ask me something around it. I won't mind, I will explain or make it clear for understanding. So let's look at one last thing, which is symbols. There are certain symbols that you might want to show in your work. HTML has made provisions for that. Let's say you want this symbol, the symbol of a CD, or the symbol of an ampersand, or a quotation mark. So let's look at CD. To show CD, you just need to copy this code, this one like this. Copy it. So we are out of forms now. So let me just come here. Let's say we have a paragraph, right? And this paragraph, we want to deplete, say, school fees, 50,000, 50,000. And I want CD sign to come before 2,000. I'll just copy that code and paste it here and send. Then I'll come in the fresh. You can see school fees, how much? 50,000. Have you seen it? Similarly, ampersand, if you want something like this, just use the code. So these are out of the box. Multiplication, instead of using X on the keyboard, division, instead of using slash, you just come and copy this code and divide and times, and you have the symbol printed out for you. So even quotation marks, if you want single quotes, you can use this. Right quotation marks, you can use this. Left quotation mark, you can use this. Right single quote, you can use this. Left single quote, you can use this code. So you can keep this particular page for your reference anytime um, you want this science. There are codes that you type, you get them. These are not even all of them. There are more. If you search online, you should be able to get them. Search online. So at this point, we are going to jump on videos and audios. How do we include videos and audios in our website? How is it done? Before I go on that, is there any question for me about what we have discussed so far? Any question? My people, any question? Offline class and online class. Any question? Or you say I should carry
No,
on?
sir. Carry on, sir.
All right, all right. All right. So now we are going to move to audios and videos. First of all, let's say I have a video. I have a video on my computer and I want it to show on my website. To do that, you need to first of all get the video inside your working folder. When I say your working folder, that is the folder you created when you like the folder you created the first time where you store all your website files. Remember our first lesson, I said we should create a folder, and that folder will have anything we are doing, any file we create to write code or whatever about our website should be inside that folder. I'm sure you guys remember. So that's the folder I'm referring to. In my case, this is the folder. It's called my first website. That folder is located on my desktop. On my desktop here. This is the folder. So I'm going to open it like this, and then I'll find a video. A video. Doesn't mean I don't have a video. Nice. My PC. have video. That's strange. And I have to download a video real quick. Just a minute to download the video. My hard drive got crashed, so I think that's why I don't have a video on my PC. As I was thinking I had. So let me just download the video quickly. First. All right, my video here ready. So this is the video. I'm taking it, I've copied it, and I'm bringing it into my work folder. So the name is also a bit scanty and long, so I have to I'm going to rename it. Let me show you how I rename it. Click on it, right click, show more options, rename. I change the name to what I like. Okay. So now back to our code. So here I want to present a video. So here I'll say I have a paragraph where I'll say watch video for entertainment. Watch the test video for more information. Now to display my video, I need to use the video tag. The video tag. Now the basic code for video, you need to introduce a source attribute. This source attribute, like the case of the image img tag, where you have source, and the source is supposed to be what? The image. If you're using image, the source is for the image. If you're using video tag, the source is for what? You. So in my case, video is what? All my name.mp4. So I'll copy the full name. I'm copying it and pasting it. I don't want to make mistakes. Now there are some attributes you need to introduce aside the source. We have poster, we have wave, we have preload, we have controls. We will use just the three of this here. So width and height is to control the size of the player. Preload means that immediately like load the video. If the page loads, also load the video. Controls means show what the player controls, play, pause, and the rest. Loop, if we are playing and it gets to the end, replay again automatically. The explanation of the attributes are here in the book, and there are more other attributes too, so you can come here to learn more. So now, so we have the attributes of width, 300, height, 300, controls, loop, and many more. Let's see what we have. Right, there you go. You can see the video is now playing on the screen. So, and we have controls here because I indicated what the controls attributes. So I can decide to remove the controls and let's see how it looks. Let me increase the width to 350. Now you see the video has loaded, but no controls. No controls. So I'm not even able to play it. The controls should be there. Controls should be there. Controls should be there. All right, I'm sure the attributes I explained. There are many more attributes. We have poster. Poster attributes, that one, you specify an image like a thumbnail. Sometimes you go to YouTube, you see, let me demonstrate this. I land on YouTube. I've not played a video, but every video has like an image, static image, right? That's a poster. So in your code, you can specify a poster that says that when the video is not being played, when the video is not being played, what image should be displayed? Then you put the image path here. That's the purpose of the poster attribute, right? You can have preload. Preload attributes, as I said, um, when the page loads, what should happen? It can have three values: none, that's nothing should happen; auto, metadata, and what have you. So the next thing we'll look at is audio. How do you add audio to your code? Actually, we are now working with HTML5. Those days, HTML4 and the rest, 3 and stuff, playing video in your code was not this easy. Like, we are just playing video by few lines of code. Those days, to play video, you need to write uh, JavaScript code and blah, blah, blah. See, let me think there's some code samples here. You need to bring in a script tag. You need to load different kinds of things. All these things, you need to write them before you can play a video. But thankfully, with HTML5, you just need a video tag and then some attributes. These attributes, you just need to understand what each of them represents, and your video will start playing in no time. So now, let's look at audio. Similarly, audio to those days, you need to use a Flash player, MP3 player. You have to load it through JavaScript, do a lot of coding before you can play your audio. But now with HTML5, you just need an audio tag and then the source and your controls and other attributes. And your audio will start playing in no time. So let's get an audio. What audio? Not sure I have audio on it. So I have my audio here. So I'm going to copy it into my the folder I've been working with. It's on the desktop, so this is it here. Just name it audio one, and I'll copy the whole name of it. So now let me have a paragraph for title. Call it listening to this audio. And then below it, I'll introduce my audio tag. And the audio tag has a source. And the source is the full name of the file. We have attributes like controls and autoplay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the audio too. As you can see, our audio has been displayed properly. We can explore all the options under audio and video. Having said this, the next stage or the next thing we'll be now moving on to is CSS. So all what we're doing by just looking at the foundational tags and elements, the building blocks. And as you all know, the building itself, the foundational stages is not that attractive until you start introducing some flesh, some cementing, and then some painting stuff. That is where CSS comes in. So CSS is our next stage. All what we have done now is exploring HTML tags, do things with them. So is there any question at this stage? So I think there are no questions, right? Are we ready to move to CSS?
Sir, good afternoon
Yeah.
once again.
Good afternoon.
Please, with the form, sir, if you submit a form, where then does it go? If you are taking forms and then you are submitting it.
Where does it go?
Yes, if you are accepting forms.
Okay,
Does
okay.
it store it as an Excel file or how does it go about it?
Okay. So by default, if you submit the form, it goes to the browser. Okay. By default, it goes to the browser. Let me show you something. This is our form, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to fill it. So let's fill it. And then I'll show you by default, it going to the browser. So full name. What's your full name? The one who asked the question.
Ms. Bao Abdullahi.
Miss Bau Abdullahi. Okay, that's full name. So email. Let me just put map@gmail. Just for testing purpose. So password, I'll say 123. Tell us about yourself. I am a boy or a man. Reading, or is it boy? Reading Ghana. Okay. What's your gender, male or female?
Male.
Okay. Your hobbies, reading, movies, writing, which one should we select?
Movies.
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 You don't like reading.
I like watching videos to learn, not reading.
Okay, you are the one who learns more with your eyes, with motion. Select your choice, MBMIs, yeah. Upload a passport picture. Let me see, let me just pick a random picture. That is not heavy. And this is what? This is 1 kilobyte. Okay, let me take this. All right, so now when I click submit, now on top here in my URL, do you see F name, Miss Bahu plus Abdullahi, email, map, percentage something, password, gender, male, hobby, movies,
Yes.
passport picture, the name of the file. Do you see it?
Yes.
So by default, it sends it to the browser. All your answers, it sends it to the browser. Now, by default, it sends it to the browser, but there are several ways. You will decide how you want to store it. As it has sent it to the browser, you can retrieve those values and then go and save it in a database, or go and save it in an Excel file, or send it to somebody's email. You can do a lot of things with it.
Okay.
Based on what you want, or what you know, or the knowledge you have learned. So at this stage, this basic stage, to answer your question, I'll say the values goes to the browser. From there,
Thank you.
you can decide what to do. Maybe when you learn JavaScript, you can get those values through JavaScript and put it in an Excel file, send it to somebody's email, store it in your database. The options are limitless. Yeah, thanks for your question. I hope I've answered it.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Any questions? Course rep never ask question. Course rep. You not ask questions before. All right. If there's no questions, we will talk a little bit about CSS and then we'll end the class. Next week, Sunday, we'll meet physically, and I hope that will be more interactive. Usually, the virtual is not that much good for me when it comes to.
We have Doomsday here.
You have Doomsday.
Yes.
Hey. Okay, so guys, what are your expectations with regards to CSS? Let me know. Let's do some chit chatting and then we call it a day. Any expectations?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we expect a more interactive lecture on the CSS next week, face to face.
Okay. More interactive, practical, interactive. Okay. That's well noted. How interactive do you want it to be? Can you elaborate?
Can you elaborate?
That's my question.
Elaborate the question.
Oh. by next week, if we can have face to face, that one will be more.
Yeah, okay.
Participate.
Yeah. Inshallah, we will meet physically next week. And the rest of the sessions, I am hoping that we will have it physically. Okay, so without much ado, I think we can end the session here. Thanks so much for your time. Uh-huh. Come again?
I said the physical engagement will, because the 2 lectures online, I'm not sure. I can't speak for the class, but personally, I got lost.
The virtual ones, right?
Yeah.
You are lost or you got lost?
So hopefully, inshallah, next week when we meet, we can
Okay.
go over maybe all
Okay.
around and when we do it.
Sure. Well noted. I will make sure that we'll do some brush ups and everybody will be on
Wow.
course. Okay, guys, let's call it a day, right? Let's meet inshallah next week. Bye.
Our place is what now?
It's good we are ending it now, so you guys can take fresh air.